to the Sad Dads Club podcast. Here's everybody's favorite sad dads, Jim and Foo.
The amount of stuff I found relative to people that had, I mean, that situation, the oil found in the engine bay, like, where is this all coming from? There was a...
You didn't have any of that, though.
I just changed the oil, and I did not see anything where I'm like,
why is that all wet?
Why? Yeah, right. But I may be mitigating some of that by my lack of mileage. My under tray has been changed out.
But if you were leaking oil, your tray would have been oily.
Yes, that is true. Yes,
right? You would have seen it there.
I don't see that.
Yeah.
But also, like, anytime I'm like, I would always be wiping. I'm retentive. Like, you know, I keep the car clean.
Oh, yeah.
So someone who, if I'd have never, in any oil change or in any of the repairs that I'd done, as far as like, well, I'm under here and I'm changing the engine mount, or I'm in here and I'm running cables for the stereo, or I'm changing the skid plate, or I'm changing the tires and I'm cleaning up the engine bay. If I had accumulated, it wasn't a grotesque leak. It was over time.
Right, it's seep.
Right. If every opportunity I took to just wipe down the engine removed the small amount that I would have seen because I was just being clean, it's possible that I would have seen it. But I'm in there and cleaning everything all the time.
Yeah.
So it's like I may have, as far as noticing a problem, shot myself in the foot because I keep it clean. So, you know, what little I would have caught, I would have always been on top of. Like, oh, well,
but I feel like if you had noticed oil in a place that
shouldn't have been because
of oil change,
right? And
then you would have been like, oh, this.
I never saw that.
Yeah. The negative here, in my opinion, is that it's 30,000 miles. If it has an issue that you are going to have to pick the tab up on, that fucking blows.
Oh, yeah.
The fact that it only has 30,000 miles on it.
Sure, yeah.
And to have that kind of a problem already.
Right.
That's concerning.
Well, it's not that it has never been touched, and this is a product of, well,
I mean, it's had the head taken off of it.
Right, but that was a human error at manufacturing.
Right.
If the motor was like, if this was like a situation like the Ford F-150s in the 2000 to 2003 era, where they had 4 threads for the spark plugs, and and you could shoot a fucking spark plug.
Right.
That's ridiculous and stupid. If this is, yeah, we gave you the wrong head gasket because the Mustangs get the same one, and we're going to repair that. And along the way, we realized in the factory, there's plenty of sealant. But in the repair manual to do that, it's not documented to go above and beyond in some of these places when you're doing this kind of
hopefully that's what it is, right?
Yeah. Like I said, it was... Yeah. Everyone I ran across, like, hey, pictures of like engine bays, like, I'm getting tons of oil here. Did you have that head gasket removal? Yeah. Or a head gasket repair? Yes. You're that guy. There aren't any, to your point, there aren't any that I ran across. People who were taking pictures and saying, I've got an oil leak from this side of the engine near the turbo, near the banjo oil feed line.
And it wasn't related to
And they said, have you had the head gasket repair? No. Like,
yeah,
that doesn't happen. It's
human error after human error.
Yes,
essentially.
Yes. I did run across, which was fascinating to me, and I don't know if you found this with the Cadillac and like the amount of stuff you went. Hey, welcome to Sad Dads Club Podcast, Automotive Shade Repair. I'm the Lord Foo.
I'm Jim, and this is some sad automotive chat right here.
I found and I remember seeing this when we got the did the head gasket replacement, the meticulousness on my invoice of all of the things that were touched and repaired or replaced.
Yeah.
With my new head bolts, XY, X grams of sealant model type. Like it was.
Oh wow!
It was like a specific amount of tube of this. These amount of bolts. These washers. This gasket.
I doubt that I have that detailed of a.
It
invoice.
Was like, wow, that's
impressive.
That's impressive. Like meticulous.
Probably. I wonder if their repair guide, whatever they give to their techs, whatever data they provide to their techs, probably specifically calls out the sealant tube.
Yes,
and
it does.
How many
I
ounces?
found it in looking for because the supplement that fixes. The supplement that includes the 2 8mm dollops of the sealant in these 2 locations that fixes the leak was a someone at Ford or who knows, like has the manual and the supplemental instructions included to the head gasket Ford RS head gasket replacement manual.
Yeah,
is fascinating. Like. You remove this, then you undo this, and this.
Right.
And everything, like, you could give this to someone who knows nothing about cars.
And they could,
if they had the tools to pull an engine or drop the engine, they could follow this. Anybody could. It was so.
Was that an engine out procedure for that?
I thought it was.
Oh.
But I flipped through it so fast. I didn't actually see if it was like a subframe drop. I don't know how you would pull that off.
Is it too tight?
I would consider it too tight.
Because it's not like it's just the valve cover, it's the head.
It's the head,
yeah.
Right. I would think, personally, it's... And the way that the cars are now mine's all-wheel drive, so maybe it's a little bit more... If it was like a front-wheel drive focus...
That's probably why it would be an engine-out procedure.
I don't know.
You got a front transfer case and...
Yeah.
Right.
It's probably way more... Well, I don't know.
Transmission and transfer case?
I would think it would be a simple subframe drop for a front-wheel drive only. I think it gets perhaps more complicated.
But I mean, if you're dropping the subframe, the motor comes out on that. So that's
right, but now you've got the drive line to the back for me where you wouldn't with like a front-wheel drive Fiesta or Focus. You could just
but they got to pull all that stuff, I would assume.
Right, but if they just don't want to deal with the extra labor... Because
I'm sure there are techs that are doing that head gasket replacement that have figured out where they're cheating the book.
Oh, probably to shave. Can you get around actually?
Oh,
dropping
this is a 12-hour job or whatever, but I can do it in 8.
Yeah, the manual says to drop or take out the entire drive line.
You don't have to.
We can just do the bolts here and let it hang.
Yeah, you don't have to do that.
Then we don't have to retighten those guys. Just we can just boop and. Boop,
yeah, a little undercarriage tickle.
Just give it the business.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow. So we don't know. I don't know. It's either going to be really painful,
Godspeed,
or
that's
not.
All I have to say.
And we were talking about. I asked Venus, I'm like, do you remember how long it was in for my head gasket replacement? And we both thought it was near.
Was it 9 months?
It was no, not even close. We thought it was like near 2 weeks, but we also were pretty positive. We were at the front end of that process, and they didn't have a lot of the materials.
Oh, so they were waiting on parts.
At Ford or Folsom, wherever they did it, to do it. So it was like the car was there and sitting while they waited for all of the parts and sealant and whatever. And then it was knocked out relatively fast.
I hate hearing that. I mean, I hope it's made whole or whatever.
Yeah,
but I hate hearing that.
Yeah, I'd like to. I'm nowhere near your
My neighbor has a Did we talk about this? My neighbor has a newer Chevy Tahoe Blazer.
Really?
Blazer. So it's sort of like a regular SUV thing now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a 20. And he had this, he asked me to come over with my code reader. Mm-hmm. And we read the codes, and it was like there was some ABS code and like one or two other codes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh. And then his wife was saying that when she drives it, there's like this thunking sound. And I'm like, that's strange. Mm-hmm. So we got in it and drove it around the block in the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And it was like the ABS was just like going, like grabbing the brakes and letting go, like dent, dent, dent. Oh. And that was I'm like, that's like the thunking? Yeah. It's like the computer's commanding the ABS to like pulse the brake, even though you're just backing out of the driveway. You know what I mean? So it's like, as you're coming down the driveway.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so he took it to AAA first, and AAA's like, oh, it needs a software update, but we can't do that here. So he paid AAA to do that. Mm-hmm. And so then he was like, okay, they're telling him, you got to take it to the Chevy dealer. So he took it to our local Roseville Auto Mall Chevy dealer, which isn't John L. Sullivan anymore. It's Roseville Chevrolet or whatever. It's sold. It's not the same people anymore.
Yeah.
And then they worked on it and decided it needed a new computer, braking system computer.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I forget what it's called. Brake CU.
Yeah.
I don't know. And which means it had to be like reprogrammed and made sure the software was updated. So that they did that. And then he gets it back and he still has codes. And not only that, but they're a retired couple that just has one car because she just retired a few months ago, and she worked for a company that gave her a company car. So they always had two cars, but one was a company car.
Oh, yeah.
And now she's retired, and that car has gone back to the company, and they just have the one car. So they were just without a car. They wouldn't provide a rental. They wouldn't provide like a courtesy car or anything like that. He's like, we're retired people that just have one car. And they're like, yeah, we don't do that.
Oh, wow.
And then they said, let's replace the battery. They charged him $400 for an AGM battery for that thing. Whoa. And I'm like, what the fucking hell?
Good Lord.
So it's just a mixed bag, right?
Yeah.
You never know what you're going to
get. And we weren't looking for the rental either. We probably just would have gone the distance without giving fucks about it.
Yeah.
They've always treated Venus. Venus does all of her like scheduled maintenance through Future Ford there.
So the Roseville Auto Mall Ford.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she has a tech that's like very friendly. Like it's super. Who's this?
You tell me.
No, nothing. Very cordial with her, like as a tech, like when she was in there for a battery.
Is this the write-up person or the?
Yeah, I don't know if
the
he
service
does.
writer?
Yeah, yes. Because she's been there a number of times for the railing, the roof rack railing, that just never. It's been in a number of recalls and repairs, and it's never
on the Explorer.
Yeah, it's never quite stayed down, and now it's just a thing we just. Unless you're
how much time are you going to spend on it? Right.
Like there is no.
At some point, you give up.
It's a shit design. It's never going to stay down unless you're going to get in there with like fucking Plastaweld or something and like tech screw it to the fucking thing. It's never going to stay down. It's a terrible fucking design. Stop. Like we're done. It's okay.
I mean, it would have to be a materials change.
Sure. I think it's been through
several iterations.
Like you take off this fascia and they give you a different one with a different set of plugs, and it just never worked. We've never been rude about it, but now it's like a comical complaint for her, like, and that doesn't work, and we're like, we're fine. But that person, the tech guy, Steve, I think his name's Steve, has always been like, we get it, I understand, I'm sorry, and is usually like her preferred contact point whenever something has to go in for a check or whatnot.
Ask for Steve.
Their like status update thing is all done through text.
That's
so
really cool.
when it was in there the last time for the catalytic converter, like my updates all came through as SMS. Like, hey Jason, this is what was done. This is what it's looking like. Here's a link to a thing, approve, non-approve of stuff that we found. And
also, here's a picture of the mechanic picking his nose.
Yeah. And her updates get like when she went in for, I think it wasn't this last time.
A colonoscopy?
Because she just went in for, Well, I mean, the pictures relative to the Explorer were straight up roto-rooters.
Right.
Like a picture summary of all the things that like, here's where your rotor thickness is, and it's not like me trying to tell you and scare you. Like there's a caliper thing of the thickness.
Here's the measurement.
Right. Here's a measurement of your pad thickness on your pads. Here's a tread wear indicator. Here's where your fluids are. Oh, you know what it might have been when she took it in for the water pump when the coolant wasn't doing its thing.
Yeah.
Like there were picture updates to justify the text and the reporting that was coming in.
Yeah.
So as someone that's fluent,
because the thing is right, you get the car back or you go to get the car and they're like, by the way, your brakes are like fucking shot.
Absolutely.
And you have like, no point of reference at all.
Right.
But in other words, in this moment, you're getting text with measurements, and here's your thickness of your pads, and here's the thickness of your rotors.
And to their, I found that refreshing. And then when mine was in there for the like, I got a list of like, oh, your pads are low, and you need your rotors resurfaced, and your wipers look old and should be replaced on your front and your rear. I was down with I haven't really checked. I mean, it's 30,000 miles, but I hadn't really, honestly, been paying attention to my pads, or if run a fingernail across my rotors. Like, I don't know. Fuck, are they? Really? I don't have to pay attention. And I'm like, oh, well, I'll check that. But I knew some of that was probably and push the pad, because the wipers I replaced last year with Ford OEM Bosch replacements. So your front wipers look old and need to be like, bitch, come on.
Right.
I was just there last year.
So why is she getting those updates and you're not? Or are you saying
I did for the catalytic converter one.
Okay.
For this check-in for the latest engine code.
Yeah.
She spun up I'm going to say case, but she spun up the service instance. So the guy that has a relationship with her is just routing stuff through her. Hi Venus. They're like cordial with each other, so it's like no big deal.
Yeah.
It's handy. I like it. That engagement is not. I don't think we got an update today, but we didn't expect it because based off of the last thing, I'm looking at that's head gasket, and Venus is like, it's probably head gasket. So they've got testing to do, because I'm sure they don't want to be like, maybe it's the head gasket.
Well, we re-pulled the head off and replaced the gasket and put the 2 8mm dollops down, so hopefully that fixes it.
They can take, and we're Thanksgiving Eve.
Yeah.
I don't want. I'm fine. Like, we looked at it when we were trying to figure out how long do we wait to make an appointment. Like, it's Thanksgiving. Like, if we check it in, the both of us were like, we won't get that back. I'm like, we're not going to get that back before Thanksgiving. And I'm not going to be like, and we really need the car. If there is a household, kind of like you when you were on telecommuting, if there is a household that can make do with only one car, or in this case, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
And we told her, push comes to shove, if I have to, I can use Grandpa's car in a pinch.
Yeah.
Like I could use that edge in a pinch.
Yeah.
I
mean, Melly uses her car to drive to work, and then beyond that doesn't ever really drive it.
It doesn't, yeah.
It sits out front, and then usually on the weekend, I don't know that she's ever really driven it on the weekend. It just sits out front all weekend, and then she just
rides
commutes.
with Mom or rides with you.
Rides with us. We're going to run errands or going to have dinner or whatever.
Next time, just throw her keys and be like, "You drive," and just see what the fuck happens.
Well, if she needs gas, then we drive her car and put gas in it.
We should take my car, Dad. Why?
Yeah, that's happened several times.
I need gas.
Yeah. Why?
I'm in daughters. Hey.
Well, she doesn't have a job.
Yeah. Yeah.
She can't. She has it though. Hold on. She has a job. She just doesn't get paid for that job.
Oh, right. There you go.
So she doesn't have any money, is what I should have said.
She's working 9 to 5.
Yeah.
But she ain't getting paid.
No.
She's getting paid in the noggins.
That's right. That's right. So, wow. That's, yeah.
We'll be okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got a Mustang 5.0 hanging out front right now. So
Right. With a screw in its rear passenger tire.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Like I got to the light because it was the Enterprise in the they like squatted next to, there's like a Carvana knockoff place in the Fries.
Yes.
Now
it's drive time or something.
Yeah.
Or
I don't know what it is. Car
Echo,
time? Echo, yes.
Echo something.
There's an Enterprise squatting between that and the squeeze in.
Oh, okay.
I got to the Fries light.
Yeah.
And the pink tire pressure light went on, and I went, oh, someone's been doing donuts, and it's cold. And I went, fucking whatever. So I got home, and I'm like, I got to remember to put air in that tire because it fucking dinked and it's cold and whatever. I think I got Monday afternoon, I filled all 4 tires up with air, and then last night
put like 80 pounds in them.
Yeah, like all of the pounds. Like, recommended tire pressure when cold 35. Well, okay, so 45.
Yeah,
we're good.
50
pounds. Fuck yeah. Last night we were getting ready to go to bed. It was like 10 or something, and I'm going out to do a hot lap in the Mustang.
Yeah.
And Venus went, what? I'm like, I'm doing a V8 hot lap. She's like, okay. So I got in the car, and I'm driving around. I like went down to Fitment and came around, and I'm like fucking with like the drive modes, and I put it into track mode.
Oh shit.
And track mode lists the tire pressures on all 4 corners.
And that one was low.
And the back right one was down about 5 pounds of pressure, and I went, ooh, okay, yeah, there's probably...
Just take the screw out and then take the hot glue gun and just fill it
like
with...
squiz?
Yeah, just let it get ripping hot.
And I went, okay, so there's something in that tire or something.
Yeah.
And then when I pulled it into the garage and I walk around and I'm going inside and I look, and I'd parked in like the perfect spot, and the like nut was right visible, and I went, oh, well, yep, that's what it is. And I came in, I'm like, there's a screw. No one go fucking hot lapping in the Mustang.
Don't let loose in the back because it'll shear that head right off.
Right off. But God, the sound.
I know.
It's so
it does
nice.
sound good.
Venus, when she took it before I knew that there was a nail in it, she didn't have the tire pressure light because I put air in it. So she took it to Jack's Urban Eats last night with Xander and came back. She's like, listen, I like the sound of the Turbo 4 in the RS. She's like, I like it. She's like, but there is something about the V8 burble.
It's throaty.
She's like, yeah. Well, that's why I love you, because she's a muscle car girl just as much as she's a turbo girl.
Shanna is not.
No.
Yeah, they could all be Honda Fits, and she'd be like, cool.
Does it get me to work?
I mean, she cares about which car she drives, but she doesn't want it to be loud or have any kind of attention drawn to it, or
Yeah.
It's just.
I mean, it's fine. Some people, it's just a car. It's just a mode of transportation. But yeah, Venus came in and she's like, "It's nice.
Well, you like pulled up, and I'm like, listen, I'm like, oh, that sounds like a V8. And I go, oh, that's not the RS.
No.
And then I go,
it is black, but it is not the RS.
I walked up, saw the pony on the front, and went, oh. And then I'm like, did he trade his RS in for a fucking Mustang? What the shit? I'm like, no, he wouldn't have done that.
Certainly not the automatic one.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah. Like, no.
Yeah.
I don't think, do they even, I'd have probably had to have gotten a Porsche or something to get something in a manual. I don't, do most rental cars even bother with a manual?
Probably not.
I think probably even those exotics are like flappy paddle, or like
a lot of them are all automatics now. Yeah.
Dual automatic clutch, CVT garbage.
Oh, CVT. No, they wouldn't use CVTs in
anyway
decent car.
And we made a joke over there. I'm like, do you
Rogue.
think they've got a? She's like, they said they don't have many all-wheel drives or four-wheel drives. I'm like, I don't know. I'm not really fucking into that anyway. I guess it's time. I guess we get a Corvette. She's like, no.
She doesn't like Corvettes.
No, but that wouldn't have been practical. But I'd have, I mean, it's got a screw in the right time.
I mean, you got a convertible Mustang,
right?
What's practical about that?
But we told her once we saw the head gasket thing, both of us were like, okay, because we're paying some out of pocket for it. Yeah. And I went, because we don't know how that's going to fall. I'm like, It was fun. It sounds cool and it's nice, but we can take this back on Friday or Saturday, and we can get something that's in the voucher range, and it's fucking fine. Like, if it's a fucking Nissan Juke, I'll be fine. I don't care.
We were coming back. We were in the prologue. Mm-hmm. Chandler was driving. We were in town, got into Roseville, and we were... 5 of us in the prologue, and we're on Roseville Parkway or East Roseville Parkway, and there's a Raptor.
Oh yeah,
that was all throaty, gas in it, and Chandler gave the prologue the business, and that Raptor was having trouble.
Oh, fuck yeah, it would.
Oh, yeah.
Of course it would.
And I'm like, oh, that dude's sad right now. Yeah. He just got beat by a Honda Prologue.
And that guy's like, I might as well just sit on my nuts. Call this one a day.
And I was like, that's fucking funny.
Oh, yeah. Especially if it wasn't a blown V8 one.
Yeah.
You're not.
It made all the noises, but Chandler just... silent, pull hard, and the Raptor's like, whoa, and it was kind of comical, actually.
You're not going to do what you think you're going to do.
Right. You might hurt yourself, buddy.
And take it easy.
You're going to pull something.
Take it easy. You're going to blow a head gasket.
I mean, that's what's crazy about electric cars versus ICE cars.
Oh, yeah.
Is how much stuff is happening in a combustion motor versus an electric motor.
Yeah. I tried to explain after I cussed and had Zender and he came out to check. To that point, he's not a car guy.
Yeah.
Not even remotely.
Yeah.
So I am while working, after just cussing at the top of my lungs, in the quickest span possible, trying to explain to him block, head, gasket, piston, cylinder, and the tolerances. And I realized there was no way that I could realistically explain to him the nuance
Oh yeah.
And I've got to go back to work and start punching on things in 5 minutes, and he's probably dead from his Fortnite spawn.
And he tuned out as soon as you said head gasket.
Right. He was genuinely concerned because I was visibly
mad,
upset
that
I'm facing a problem with something that's important to me.
Yeah.
And, that's concerning to him. But, okay, so there's and depending on it's an open deck or a closed deck, and there's sealant, and it's anyway, something may not be sealed and oil is leaking. And he's like, okay, all right, sure.
Did you want me to look at it?
Is this something I can fix? Like a Band-Aid or something?
I got gum.
Like JB Weld or something? All right. Anyway.
That's comedy.
We'll be okay.
Yeah. Well, it's never fun.
No.
Never fun. We went, Melly's birthday was Sunday, and we went up to Placerville and went to a place called Enchanted Forest. Have you heard of it?
No.
So it's in downtown Placerville on Main Street, and it's a restaurant called Enchanted. We went there for brunch.
Okay.
And it's like a forest inside. It's crazy.
Oh, like the Rainforest Cafe kind of thing?
Yeah, kind of like that.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was cool.
On Main Street?
Yeah. Yeah, right on Main Street.
Is it a big place?
No, it's pretty small.
I was going to say, I mean, that's like a historical thing. I can't imagine there was
I think it's been there forever.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
We had...
Keep going.
The girls had cheese fondue, and Chandler and I had meat fondue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was cool. It was pricey.
Was it?
Yes. But it was kind of cool. Just like a neat little place. They gave us literally light up headband things to wear.
Wow.
Yeah.
Little tiaras?
Yeah. Well, not tiara. Well, yeah, I guess so. Little flowery things with lights on them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You're little fairies.
Yeah.
How'd you find it?
I think the girls found it somehow, or maybe on TikTok or something like that.
And
I'm not sure.
You guys had never been there before?
No. We just went for her birthday. So it was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Interesting. But, yeah. So the chick behind the bar had like elf ears.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'm like, hey, did you see the ears?
I have ears.
Yeah, no, it was fine. I mean,
she was cute.
I'll give it a whirl.
You ever get blown by an elf? Hey.
I mean, I'm not against it.
Whatever those fairies do, they could do it to me. Sure. Put on some music.
So it was kind of like rainforest minus the animals kind of thing.
Yeah.
Tables had like lights in the middle, like a little like river thing down the center with lights underneath.
Oh.
Kind of neat. It was a neat place.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How many people fit in it? Like it was a big place?
It was, I mean, it's, I mean, it's not, I said it was small. It's not that small. There's quite a few tables in there.
Oh, okay.
But you walk in, there's like a hostess stand, bar down the left, some tables down the right, and then in the back it opens up into a little bigger seating area.
Like Monk Cellar?
Probably smaller than Monk Cellar.
Okay.
A little smaller than that.
All right. That
Yeah.
puts a gauge on it for me.
Yeah.
At least.
But kind of neat. Anyway, just thought I'd bring that up. I thought it was kind of cool.
Enchanted Forest.
The Enchanted Forest in Placerville. Yeah.
That's weird that like your son and Nicole wouldn't have run across that and like planning stuff up there for like the wedding.
I don't know if they did or not, but I mean, probably the vibe and maybe the cost would have scared them away. It was kind of expensive.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
How old is Melly? 22?
24.
24.
Yeah.
Shit.
I know. We were like, my oldest is 24? What?
Wow.
What? So, yeah, that's crazy.
Goddamn.
Yeah. Anyway.
How old's Chandler?
27?
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Here come the gray hairs.
I mean, I got some. Just a few, but they're there.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
24. What was I? Where were you doing at 24?
At 24? Gosh.
18.
I had just at 24. I was either finishing up working at Pizzeria Classico, or I had moved on to Bill Smith Photography. Yeah.
That was right about Y2K. So that's about 2000, 2001 for me, I want to say, near 2000. So I was Charlotte, 2001 I was back here. So by 2000 I was done in Charlotte. So I'd already spent roughly 2 years in North Carolina.
Yeah.
And was back here.
It's kind of weird because Melly has she's had a couple of jobs here and there, and she worked at the Gastronome on campus, which is sort of like that's like the buffet for the students or whatever, if you have the food plan. She worked in there, and she's worked at the Crystal Shop and maybe one other place. So she's had some jobs here and there, but really the bulk of her time has just been in school. Like graduated high school, went to college, and she's been in school the entire time, which is kind of bonkers.
I think what probably separates her education from someone that's just like, I'm in college for XY years. Her education is coming with actual vocational experience. Yeah. She's not getting paid, but if someone flipped a switch tomorrow and said, now you're getting paid, she would be doing a job that would be like a 9 to 5 that she would understand the mechanics and the nuance of. She would just now be getting paid.
Right.
She would
getting paid probably fairly well.
Right. And she wouldn't be like, the work days are too long. I don't understand what, and like teammates, it would be something completely normal for her, as opposed to going from a gastronome where maybe it's
or the Crystal Shop.
Yeah, or where it's part-time at best, and she kind of shows up and someone's giving her a schedule and I work on Tuesdays and Fridays.
Right.
Or it's seasonal, like when they need me. If someone said, you're full-time and you're getting paid full-time right now, she would know what
she's getting into.
She would know what that means. So
it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, she's got a leg up on someone that's like, not only do I have this on paper or this academic degree, but
I also have the experience.
I also understand what it means to be a full-time employee.
Yeah, because a lot of college kids go to school and maybe don't work or whatever.
Right.
And then all of a sudden they have to just find a job in their thing, and then they find out real quick what it means to work in the world.
I have a Bachelor of Arts in philosophy, and so what's my job?
Yeah.
How do I get a job? And you're like, well, you can.
I got a business degree.
I'm going to write a book. Well, that's not going to fucking pay rent.
No.
Unless you're.
Not right now, it's not.
George R.R. Martin or something, you're writing the next Game of Thrones or something. You're not, so it's like, well, what do I do now? She's got a different educational path.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to see how that's working out. And she has had good feedback. It's kind of cool to watch how this is evolving, because she's supposed to start applying for jobs, I want to say February. Like, you start applying for stuff then.
Mm-hmm.
And the VA has been pretty receptive to her. So they seem interested in, there's potential for her to get hired on there, which would be perfect because, we've talked about this a couple times. If she works for the VA for 10 years, her student loan gets forgiven or paid for by the feds. So that would be great. But then you're paying about 10 years on your student loans.
Right.
That's the negative.
Does she get prorated for the internship time to that 10 years?
She prorated?
Like, if she spends a year, like, how long is she there at the VA right now? For 6 months?
She's until next June, early June.
Will she have spent a year there? Like, will she get the year she's done as an internship credited to the 10?
I don't know if the externship counts towards employment. I mean, she is technically employed there. She has a business card, right? I mean, she technically works there. She's just not getting paid. So I don't know if that year. So if is it only 9 years if she gets hired on? I don't know.
Because I was a contractor for First Union for 2 years. When I became a full-time employee, I was credited the 2 years as a contractor.
As an employee.
As an employee. So when I went full-time,
so you're vetting and all that stuff.
Right. So I was like, oh, well, you get to add these.
Yeah.
So, it counts.
So your vacation pay was at that time.
Right. Yeah. It was as if I had been a full-time employee for 2 years already.
I don't know that would be great if
right.
the VA
that would be
does
handy.
That.
I mean, it's just one less, potentially almost one less year.
Yeah.
Towards 10.
I'll have to ask her about that. That's a good question. Yeah. But it's interesting to see this process take place and, like kind of knowing that when she gets hired, she'll be making 80, 90K or something right out of the gate.
Damn.
I mean, that's as a brand new hire. Okay.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of cool.
I'm trying to do some of the math. I mean, she'll have time that she'll need to make up for because she'll be 25, 26 almost. 25 when an actual employment paying opportunity comes in. So she'll have the experience of knowing what that's like, but she will be slightly behind financially.
Well, maybe. I mean, I guess it depends. I don't think a lot of kids that are 24, 25 years old are making that kind of money right out of the gate.
Probably, yeah.
They're probably 30 or 40, maybe 50 grand a year or something like that, I would assume.
Yeah.
I mean, it just depends on everybody's path, right?
Yeah.
But, interesting to see nonetheless.
We were looking at, because I have a number of people like on my team, and they're well over 65. And it's...
retirement age, I think, is 67 now.
They're over
67.
Like they're pressing 70, 72.
Oh, geez. Get done.
Right.
Just take the Social Security.
I was telling Venus, like, so a lot of these guys are very, very smart.
Yeah.
They're not idiots, but you can tell there's a slight generational misstep is the wrong word, but like I really wasn't thinking about the back end in the middle, and they're only working because they're trying to pad the stats so that they have something when they pull the plug.
Yeah.
It's not that they enjoy working at 71 years old. They're having to work because Social Security wouldn't be enough. And
Social Security would probably be about half of what they're taking in now.
And I'm like, man, that's fuck.
Yeah. And who knows?
Right?
Maybe Social Security will end up going away.
Yeah, it could be fucking
Which is
gone.
great because, you and I have put a lifetime of money into the Social Security system.
Right.
And that would be awesome.
Yeah.
If it just went away.
Where'd that go?
Yeah.
Nowhere.
That sounds like lawsuits.
Oh, you think?
Oh,
like, where would that money go? What would they use it for?
To fund
Like
invasions of Mexico. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, you don't like my tariffs?
I mean,
how about a nuke? Like at some point, I mean, unless I've never really dived into the nuance of like where the money actually is, but you know, to be like, solve it on your own. I'd be like, okay, so where'd the money go?
We're in uncertain.
What are you going to do with that money?
We're in uncertain times.
You know, if you want better job opportunities, it turns out you just need to, you know, have sexual assault cases put against you.
It turns out you just need to be a felon.
Yeah. just be a felon, man.
Yeah. And you're untouchable. Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to run for president. But first, I'm going to do some criming.
Yeah. What do you need? 34 felonies? Count me in.
Yeah. You know, then president.
Then president.
What? Will I have to serve prison time? Absolutely not. I just need to make the president. And then it's all good. It's no big deal. Also, I'm going to touch some women's and some inappropriates. But it's all good.
You grab them by the pussy.
But president.
But then president.
It's all good.
It's fine.
It's fine.
No one will care. No, people like that.
Did we talk? Was it all offline about the peanut whiskey thing?
I think so. I mean, I might have mentioned it.
Was it you and your son? Did you actually make a peanut butter jelly drink or cocktail?
I think I joked about it.
But you hadn't made one.
No, I bought, so.
Let's talk peanut whiskey.
Okay, so where I didn't really know anything about peanut butter whiskey, and we were at Chandler's a couple months ago, and his father-in-law, okay, his father-in-law is big time into whiskey. Like he collects whiskey. He's got like a room full of whiskey.
Okay.
So Chandler has been tasting whiskey, and he has now been gifted some bottles of whiskey, and he had a bottle of Screwball.
Okay.
And I'd never had it before. So he's like, he had several bottles out one night, and so we were just after dinner, like tasting. I'm like, oh, you know, I don't like this one, or this one's pretty good. He's like, oh, try this one, Screwball. And I'm like, oh shit, this is pretty good. And so fast forward to just here a couple weeks ago, we went to Total Wine, and I was looking at the whiskeys, and I'm like, oh, they got several different brands. I just want to try a different brand of peanut butter whiskey. They got several. There's like a couple of 3 or 4 flavors of it. So I bought a different bottle. In this case, it was peanutty. And I really like the flavor of the peanutty more so than the Screwball. Because you had given me that little can of Screwball. Yes. So I sort of like taste tested them against each other. And I like the peanutty a little better.
Okay.
I felt like it was a little bit more natural peanut butter flavor. And so what I've been doing is just literally taking a shot glass and like pouring myself a couple of shots in there and just sipping it while I'm like, we're hanging out watching TV or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's delicious just on its own.
I swear I had a bottle, and I think I just canned the bottle, like just tossed it, because I'm like,
so did you not try it?
No, I smelt it and went, this seems like
this is wrong.
This is wrong. Like I like whiskey too.
Yeah.
If I'm going to drink something in just a highball glass with a thing of ice, which is almost my preferred thing. If I'm doing something, not a mixed cocktail, it's whiskey. It's not a flavored thing.
Yeah.
Like Fireball has its place, sure. The apple cider Jack Daniels and the honey Jack.
And,
like they have certainly good cooking things, or if I'm making like something specifically with a flavored whiskey, I'll leverage it in that way.
It's but like honey Jack and Dr. Pepper or Coke or
I
something.
don't really sip those flavored ones.
Yeah.
Like I'll get real whiskey and drink that.
Yeah.
So the bottle of Screwball that I had that was probably a gift from Venus's brother was like, I'm never going to drink this. I think I chucked it. I had the sampler can that I gave to you after that encounter you talked about with Data's, and I was like, I'm never going to fucking drink this. You can have it. Like, if you liked it, fucking it's all yours.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned the peanutty.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I should maybe fucking consider like at least tasting it before I put my foot in my mouth and be like just hand waving off.
Why are you drinking that? It's garbage, Jim.
So Friday night, Piper and Emily went up to Chico to hang out with the friends that are up there. Saturday at some point, I got a picture from Piper of I think they went to, it might have been the Sierra Nevada Brewery up there for food, not for drinking because they're not 21.
Damn it.
And they had a, like the chalk placard thing, like A-frame signage.
Oh, yeah.
And it had a couple cocktails on there, and it was a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup cocktail. And it had peanut butter whiskey, chocolate liqueur, and some whipped cream or something, cream. And it was just a picture of this sign. And she's like, you need to make this. And she chucked it.
Yeah.
And that's when I sent you the thing, like, where was the... I was like, instantly like, okay, I'll try it with something.
Where did you get the peanut?
Where was the peanutty? You're like, Total Wine. We'll look at Venus, like, we got to go grocery shopping. We're going to go over to fucking Total Wine first. And we'll go get some peanut butter whiskey because I'm going to make this thing, this Reese's peanut butter. So we did. The couple recipes that I found online were like cream de cacao as a chocolate liqueur. Last year in the holidays, one of the Rayleigh's booze, liquor, holiday thing, kiosk, whatever, stand-ups had this like boozy hot chocolate thing that had
sounds terrible.
Right. It had a couple different types of Baileys, and one of which was like some kicked up hot chocolate booze thing.
Yeah.
Of which we didn't care about the straight alcohol part, but the chocolate liqueur Baileys, we were like, we could put that coffee, like our fucking, or a hot chocolate, and just use that. Right, fucking unopened, bought it. It's been unopened in our bar thing
since last year.
I'm like, ooh, well, that's fancy, and fucking I have no use for it, so I'll use that over the cream de cacao because this looks like a premium version. So then we went over to the Total Wine, and I'm like looking, I'm like, fucking, oh, fucking A, dude.
There's a few.
Chocolate peanut butter.
Oh.
Peanutty. A couple different variant. There was Screwball. There was 2 or 3 other peanut whiskey options. One was like $23. The peanutty, I think, was 15 to 17
or something.
Yeah. And then I think I got the $18 one, which was, I can't remember the name. It had some funny little. It had an elephant on it.
It was Scatterbrain.
Yes. Yes, because I sent you the picture.
That's how I know.
I got home, made the drink, and then sent a picture to fucking Piper. Like, it's good. Drank it. Venus, your mom drank it. And then I'm like, no, goddamn. And then I sent you the picture. I'm like, it tasted like a goddamn completely blended Reese's peanut butter cup.
So did you try the whiskey on its own, I assume?
No, I did not.
Why?
I haven't. I was more concerned about the drink.
Okay.
Getting the drink right.
All right.
I'll do it tonight.
All right.
Because
I'm just curious to know if you like it by itself or not. Because it's weird because you get a nice peanut butter flavor and sometimes you get a little kick in the back end.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's like, oh, yeah, it's whiskey. It's a whiskey. You know.
Yeah.
Chandler had something. Last night we were over there, had dinner over there last night, and he brought out some bottle. He's like, "This is a $150 or $150 bottle of whiskey," and so he gets a couple glasses and he pours me some. I'm like, "Whoa, dude! I gotta drive home."
Yeah. Take it easy, Tiger.
Give me like half of that.
Yeah.
So I was tasting, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Whatever it was it had like a bitter or sour sort of flavor to it. He's had several that I liked, but that one, no. I don't care how much it cost. If it tastes like ass, it's ass.
Right.
You know.
It's not that all different from
anything else.
Anything else that has a either an experienced repetitive palate, like or smoking, like pipe tobacco or cigars, whiskey, tequila.
Yeah, you get
bourbon.
like a barrel-aged whiskey or
you're
something.
Like, I don't need something that's going to fucking... Or wine, all of your different types of wines. Like, I couldn't tell you... I don't drink wine, so it's hard for me to make a hypothetical with wine because I don't know my ass.
Wine is one of those things that are so many kinds. There's so many brands and makers of wine, and they're so it's easy to get like bogged down in it. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
And as far like for me, it is. So like, I feel like I don't ever see the same brand like more than twice or something. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I really like this wine, and then like never see that bottle again anywhere to buy it or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I kind of struggle with wine, at least with like the whiskey. You know, if you go to Total Wine, they're going to have the thing there.
Right.
But like wines, there's fucking hundreds and thousands of them, you know?
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know. They're fucking tannins. I'm aged in cherry oak, and this is a fucking burnt oak. I'm like, I don't know.
We did a wine tasting thing. So back when I used to commute with somebody to work, her husband was the sommelier at Nugget. And he knew his alcohol, he knew his wines, and he knew people in the industry. So him, them, and my wife and I, and Steve and his wife at the time before she passed away, we all went to Napa and stayed somewhere and went wine tasting. And the dude that was the sommelier like set up. He like knew people, so he got us into places for free where it was like normally you'd pay, and there was a bunch of I really enjoyed that. It was really cool to go somewhere and just taste wines and be like, oh no, that one's or oh damn, that one actually, like I don't know shit about wine. It feels very snooty, kind of tasting wine, but when you don't know anything about it, it's very overwhelming.
Sure. Yeah.
But then at the same time, you go somewhere and you sit down and they're like, oh, this is a Chardonnay. And then, and they pour you a little bit and you're like, no, I don't like that one. Or, oh, that was good.
Yeah.
And that was kind of like eye-opening. But at the same time, like after you come home, it still feels very overwhelming.
Yeah. You're like, man. Like what did I get that kind of, we went to an Oktoberfest in Thomas. And they had like the beers and ciders.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm like, same thing I am with wines and I am with beers. I'm like, if it's bitter, I'm done. Like, I don't care.
Oh, yeah.
If I prefer ciders because I feel like I get more flavor opportunities that aren't like dry. Like, it's not like I'm gonna get hammered and I'm gonna struggle swallowing this because it's like fucking bitter.
Yeah,
ciders take the edge off of that, and they're
on the sweeter side.
Yeah, they're on the sweeter side.
Yeah.
So I walked into that Oktoberfest like, I'm looking for ciders. but I'll try some stuff that I hadn't tried before. Just like tell me. And it was, what did I run into? I think we've talked about it before. It was the sours.
Oh yeah.
But I wouldn't know where to look for those. Like where are the
sour beers?
Yeah, sour beers. I'm like,
they have I think at like Total Wine, there's a section that just has sours in it.
Is there?
Yeah. You can find them.
Right. But I'm not going to go buy a fucking, at like the prices that there are. I'm like, like if I could at least buy a single can, maybe I'd entertain going and like snagging a, like, okay, I'll get this sour and then see what happens. But if I'm in that kind of mood, I'm more apt to go down the hard ciders aisle and be like, ooh, boysenberry, like, ooh, that's an interesting twist. I'll try that.
So part of Melly's birthday was we went to the Enchanted Forest, and then we drove into Apple Hill and went to I think it's Hidden Star Orchards.
Okay.
And they have a cider barn.
Ooh.
With shitloads of ciders.
Oh.
And you can get flights there. So we bought a bunch of flights, and one of the ones they had that I was like, oh, I got to try that was a fucking habanero one.
Oh, shit.
And it was very interesting flavor, but most of them are pretty sweet, like a blackberry one, or this one was a peach and whatever flavor.
Yeah.
They're all very good. All very good. But the habanero one was very interesting and different. That's why I was like, I'm going to try that. So we all sat and played games and had little flights and really, that's some fun shit.
So they made the ciders?
It was, the ciders they make there.
Did they sell them somewhere?
They sell growlers and bottles, and then they obviously pour pints. Is it pints?
So if you wanted some, you'd probably have to be up there and get a growler of it. Or
I don't
do they
know.
Sell cans somewhere?
I don't think they sell cans. They just had refrigerators with bottles in them. People were just like grabbing them out and put them on the counter and checking out. And then the flights are kind of cool because they have a menu, and then they give you a piece of paper, and then you write the numbers down, and then they go pour it and then give you your thing so you know what you're drinking. Which is really kind of cool. I really enjoyed that.
I was going to say, so how was the habanero?
It was tasty. It was really good.
Okay.
Yeah, very impressed and would love to go back. In fact, let's see. Okay, here. They have I just pulled it up on their website. So I'll give you an example. Like this one was called Pepe Le Pinot, and it's a semi-dry cider wine Pinot Noir.
Okay.
But it's a cider.
Okay.
Right? This one is semi-dry. It's called Thunder and Lightning. Semi-dry bourbon whiskey, ancho chili, and jalapeno pepper.
Ooh.
So they got a bunch of. This one is called Dark Horse. It's semi-sweet chocolate and coffee. Okay. And Shan got that one, and it was like, oh damn! It's like I'm tasting coffee. That is weird in a cider.
Weird.
Yeah.
Okay. Where was it?
It's called Hidden Star Orchards in Apple Hill.
Hidden Star Orchards. Okay.
Yeah. Not cheap, but very good. The one that I got was the let's see, where was it?
Prison Wallet.
Here it is. The Heat Wave semi-sweet guava habanero, and I'm like, oh, I got to try that one.
Wow. Okay.
This one that I really liked was the semi-sweet blueberry lime. It was called Out of the Blue. I had that one, and then I had this one. It was a blackberry called Back in Black. Very good. That was good. The girls got some different ones. I tried theirs. All of them were very good.
Huh.
I was impressed.
Did you get a growler of anything?
They were out of growlers.
Fucking A.
I know. They were waiting for a shipment of growlers to come in, and but very cool, very fun. So we went and had brunch.
Wow.
And then went up there and had ciders, and then came home and did birthday stuff. So
cool.
It was an expensive day.
I was gonna say, bam.
Yeah. But yeah, it's fun, man. I really like that. But I also want to try the peanut butter whiskey drink with the chocolate.
Oh, yeah.
I got to get some.
Super easy to make.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to get out and get any chocolate liqueur or Bailey's or chocolate or whatever, but I will.
Yeah.
And I'll probably have to buy another bottle of peanut butter whiskey.
Yeah. It was the PakMedia was a
smaller bottle.
Well,
because that was part of the consideration for me was like, I don't want to get a big bottle.
Yeah.
I just want to get a little bottle. And then as I'm drinking, I'm like, I really like this.
This is nice.
Like, I might have an alcohol problem. You know what I mean? Like 3 nights in a row, I'm drinking whiskey.
You're like, shut up, bitch.
Make me a sandwich.
We're nothing but an apron, and make me a sandwich. Shut up, daughter. Get a job.
I always joke with Shanna whenever she's on a ladder. I'm like, you're on a ladder. Why aren't you wearing a skirt with no underwear? Like she's getting up in the attic and getting stuff down for her holidays or putting stuff away. I'm like, where's your skirt?
This isn't the proper apparel for what you're doing.
Yeah.
We have a contract.
Yeah. You are in breach.
Yeah.
So if you get a chance, go to Camino and go to Hidden Star Orchards.
How'd you find that place?
Just Googled it because we were like, well, we kind of knew what we wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And Chandler was like, how about this place? And we're like, oh, and we had been there before, but we just didn't realize that we were there. That was the place we went the day we adopted Max.
Oh.
Was Hidden Star Orchards because they had a donut place that was like a donut food truck.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where he was selling his donuts was out in front of there.
Oh.
And we're like, let's go try donuts at the place. And then we went and met Max, drove up there, got donuts. And while we were having donuts, we got the call to come get him. He was yours.
Nice.
So, yeah, cool place.
I like donuts.
Who doesn't like donuts?
Donuts and cider? Did you have donuts and cider?
I did. They had donuts there, actually. They have like a little one of the first buildings you go through is their bakery building, and they have donuts in there.
Mm-hmm.
They bought some. I didn't buy any. I didn't even know they were getting any.
The girls knew.
I'm going for the cider house.
I'm gonna get fucking shit-faced.
Yeah, and Chandler and Shanna were standing by, and they'd ordered some donuts.
Mm-hmm.
So you could, in theory, get donuts. They weren't from the place that we went there for originally. They're now only local made donuts.
Oh.
And so you could go get donuts from them
Mm-hmm.
and then go into the cider barn and have cider.
Cider.
Yeah.
Wow.
Up there.
I mean, that sounds like a good weekend.
It just sounds like, like go hang out. They got Chandler and Nicole were playing Connect 4, and then Chandler ran to the car because he has a little tiny deck of Uno. So we're all sitting at the table playing Uno, drinking our cider, chuckling, making fun of each other,
Dumb.
Good time.
Draw 4, bitch.
Yeah. Draw 2. Skip. Oh, reverse.
What? Someone ran. I don't know. It's like Ultimate Uno or something, where there's like a ridiculous like draw 12 or something. It's like it's ludicrous.
Oh.
Anyway,
no, I don't.
Who was that? Who had that?
I
think my kids had it.
That's murder time at that point.
Yeah, it's like you put that card down, you pull back a stump. It's like, don't do it. Don't fucking.
You're gonna get a foot stuck in your ass.
A huge.
I will
foot.
break it off in there.
The whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
Like fucking don't even try.
And it's a size 12.
Oh, yours is right.
Yeah.
No, mine's a 10.
I used to wear a 10.5.
Right.
Then Shanna got pregnant, and my feet grew.
That's a good trade-off.
I don't know.
Would you want to carry it? No. It's like I got 2 more inches on my feet.
I just think it's weird because you always hear about, a woman who gets pregnant and her feet grow.
Mm-hmm.
Shanna got pregnant and my feet grew. I wore a 10.5 for years, and then all of a sudden, literally while she was pregnant, my feet got longer.
How crazy.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it is weird.
So I wear a 12 now.
Did your feet like flatten out? Or did they just actually were they and then
I don't know.
You're a anatomical marvel. or something.
Oh, great.
We're at time.
That's it?
That's it.
Oh.
And if you're in the local area and you're one of the asshats at Rayleigh's this evening before Thanksgiving and you didn't do it, you should definitely return the cart.
Oh, my gosh.
They were all over.
Dude.
I'm like,
we went to Safeway last night. We walk up and the cart chamber bin
corral
where you would pull a cart to go into the store.
Yeah.
Empty.
Yeah.
And we're like, what the fuck? There's literally no carts. It is a concrete empty shell.
Silo. Yeah.
So we walked to the other door. There was none there either. I had to walk out to the thing and grab a cart out of the return bin and push that back up to the fucking store.
Here's why I'm saying this. Like, okay, it's the same thing. I worked late this evening, like past normal time, and it hits like 6:30, and Venus comes into the office. She's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go get this for Xander and this for Piper." And I'm like, I'm going to the store. Like Wednesdays, I get a lottery ticket. Normally, I would walk, but when I'm at 6 and if I don't cut it off at 6, then I relegate myself to, well, you're gonna drive over there, and I'll walk later. But like at 6:30, I'm like, I'm going. You can come with me and get the stuff for the kids for dinner. But I'm going right now. I'm like typing ass out of the seat, like wrapping up.
Return.
Enter. Fucking lock the screen. Yeah. Bam. I grab the keys. We jump in the Mustang. We get over there. And as I pull into the parking lot, I'm like, cart.
Oh, God.
No. And I'm like, there's not enough time to return the cart.
For the guy that wants to return all the carts. That's terrible.
I'm like, okay. I'm like, hit park, and I'm like, there's not enough time to do all the carts. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm doing the carts that are right here. Venus takes off for her. She grabs 2. I go to the far one. I grab that one. We chuck them into the thing. We run into the store. I'm like, I feel good about that.
Yeah.
Feel good about it. Get in the Mustang. We're coming out, and I look over at the other side of the parking lot, and there's fucking carts everywhere. And I went, there's nothing I can do about that today. There's nothing I can do about that today. It's like 6:50. I'm like, fuck, he's there. I'm like, I left carts. I didn't return all the carts.
Well, the thing is walking up to the store, I didn't see any carts anywhere.
They were all in the...
They were all, as far as I know, they were all in the bin, but there were no carts to be found.
At the... staged in front of the store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, whoa. And then I had to walk out to the cart bin to get a cart.
The fucking asshats over here at Rayleigh's couldn't,
normally we don't use carts.
Late shoppers couldn't be bothered and left them all in the parking lot. Yeah. I'm like, fuck you guys.
We don't normally use carts.
Little baskets?
No, Shan has our shopping bags and we just put stuff in there and carry it around. Yeah. We don't use carts typically. Because you know why? Because then we spend too much money.
Oh, if you get a cart?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're just like, oh, yeah, throw it in.
Put it in there.
Throw it in.
Jay said he hadn't seen these chips. We should get these chips.
Throw it in.
Are you going to give them to Jay? No.
Throw it.
I'll try them and then tell him about him.
Just chuck it in there.
Put it in there.
Yeah. And then you've got the mound, and then it's $300. And you're like, wait, what?
Yo, what? Shit. Anyway, on that note, you should definitely return the cart.
You should wash your hands.
Wash your ass.
Check your oil, Tony.
Stay up to date on your shots.
Make the call if you need to.
Pick up a broom.
Do the kindness.
And we'll catch you next week. And happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. It's tomorrow.
Yes. Well, catch you next week. Bye.
Thanks for listening, everybody.